To Inside the Film Room, I'm Kristen Urkel alongside head football coach Will Healy. The Governors defeat Eastern Kentucky in a fourth quarter comeback to secure a winning season and stay in the race for the NCAA playoffs. Coach, you've now had some time to let it sink in. What did you learn about your team that fought back from a 17-point deficit?
It's amazing how this team has been able to find so many different ways to win games. You go into halftime and you're not really playing great. I think we, as a staff, knew how talented Eastern Kentucky was and knew that they would present a lot of problems. I was worried about the game just because I know how talented they are and I know how well coached they are. And they jumped on us early. And, for us to be able to come in, regroup at halftime, they make a play at the end of the first half to make it 21-7. You're really going into halftime with no momentum whatsoever. You get the ball back on the first drive of the second half, and we try to fake a punt. It was a bad call on my part, and they stop you. So they got 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line going in with the chance to make it, a 21-point game. Held them to a field goal, score a touchdown, and then it was over. And just to watch our kids' belief, their energy, how much fun they had playing football, even down 10 points, you could just feel the difference in momentum on the sideline. And just so proud of how they kept fighting, how much energy they play with, how they play the game, and what type of kids we have. It's like a fairy tale watching them every Saturday, and just very lucky to be a part of it.
The second half of the ball game, the Governor offense hit their stride, trailing 24-7. The Governor scored 24 unanswered points. What do you attribute that momentum to?
Well, I think that as the game goes on, I think Chris Laskowski and what his staff does makes us a little bit more difficult to beat. I think we wore on them a little bit. I think, not only were we, I felt like mentally tough enough to overcome that, but I thought we were physically enough to overcome the deficit that we'd put ourselves in. So I think that we stuck with our game plan and made good adjustments as well. I think our staff does a phenomenal job on Saturdays in making sure that we understand how teams are trying to attack us, and we regroup and make some corrections. But we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot as much in the second half as what we did in the first half. We were able to create some big plays. I thought we blocked well in all areas, whether it was offensive line, whether it was wideouts, running backs, the whole group. And then we took some shots down the field. We opened it up a little bit in the second half. Tiny made some big-time plays. DJ Montgomery made some big-time plays. Jeremiah threw the ball really well. When you throw it and you complete 11 passes for over 200 yards, you're being very efficient when you catch the football. I thought some of it was catch and carry, and I thought some of it were great throws and on-the-mark throws by Jeremiah. So proud of how we executed offensively, especially in the second half.
Defensively, your group held the Colonels to only 68 yards in the second half, sealed the game with an interception. When you watched the film, what stood out to you? Well,
one, how talented they are on offense. I thought their quarterback was exceptional. They got great weapons at wideout. Their backs are really good players. So it was a tough matchup for us. You're playing a lot of young kids on that field on Saturday, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that are going against some really, really good players in this league. And I thought we just kind of settled in and started making some plays with the ball in the air. We never panicked, and we played with a lot of energy in the second half, especially on defense. We rallied to the ball. We created the one turnover with the interception at the end of the game by Kiavis, which was huge. We missed a couple others that I felt like that we could have, expanded that margin a little bit more. But just so proud of how our defense responded after the first half, getting it taken to us a little bit.
The game's at 24-21. Take us back to your decision to send a freshman kicker, Cole Phillips, out to potentially tie the game.
Well, you watch the ball slip out of Jeremiah's hands, and you go from possibly thinking about going for it, to now we're on the edge of field goal range. It's a 42-yarder, and obviously Cole has not kicked a whole lot for us this week. I think Max Sermon does a phenomenal job of having a game plan going in with this is what we're going to do in these situations. The plan was Logan's going to kick extra points and Cole will kick field goals. He'd been doing a great job in practice. We had a lot of confidence in him. And for him to go out and execute, unbelievable hold by Javon, to get the ball down, and then Cole coming up in that pressure-packed situation was huge because you've got all the momentum in the world on your side. It's 24-21. You start to lose a little bit of momentum when the ball slips out of Jeremiah's hand. And then, if you miss the thing, now they've got the momentum back on their side. For us to be able to capitalize and get points there was enormous, and we never looked back.
Prior to Saturday, Austin Peay had not won at EKU in 40 years. The 31 points was the most scored on the Colonels in program history. That victory gave you a 4-0 record on the road in the OVC this season. What goes through your head when you hear stats like that?
This will be really fun to be able to look back on and enjoy when we finish this run. Right now, you just you grin, you're proud, you're just ecstatic for these kids and these group of assistant coaches and administration, really this whole community, but you just don't want it to end. And we'd lost like 45 of the last 49 games versus Eastern Kentucky, and they've got an extremely storied program, and I think they're really talented and really well coached. So, and when you give a team like that who hasn't had as much success as what they would have liked this season, reasons to be excited and reasons to have confidence, it makes them extra scary. And we did that in the first half. They played great. They outplayed us, and for us to still be able to come back and as many things as didn't go our way and come back and find a way to win that game on the road says a lot about our football team. But these kids are just amazing to watch and be around, and it's just a special group. I don't know if you could ever replicate what's happened these last 3 months, and it's been as much fun as I've ever had in the profession.